Hi all, good morning, happy Friday. I even wrote notes today, my mind still just went blank. Oh, so it's December 1st, I think. Yay, yeah, December 1st, yesterday was 30th. So what did I do this week? I wrote notes just because number one, requested them. So last Friday was Black Friday, and they actually celebrated it here a bit. Some of the malls did like things, like the electronics store had ads all over about Black Friday. I don't generally participate in Black Friday, so I just sat home and I tried to care about Black Friday. I was like, yeah, this year, like, yeah, I'm gonna look and there might be like sales on stuff I want, like this travel bag that I want. But there wasn't. There's never sales on anything I want, and I lost interest in like 5 minutes. So I napped a lot on Friday. Oh yeah, because I woke up like super late and then I filmed my video, and yeah, I just mostly napped for most of the day and started working on Christmas cards. Saturday I DH worked, so I stayed home and made myself work on Christmas cards. Show you guys a sneak peek. This is them. Oh yeah, it's them. I did, I've never really messed with watercolors before, so I wanted to do like a super simple watercolor gradient. And the first idea I had, I wanted to do like have this design. You see it everywhere. It's like a quarter of this, I guess it's like a well-known Arabic geometry design. I've seen like references to it in like old books that people have posted on Pinterest, and like, I don't know, I need to find out the history, because like I want to know what it means, if it means anything or if it's just pretty. But it's everywhere here. It's like right outside my balcony, it's on railings, it's on logos, it is like everywhere here. I love it. I figure it's nice and festive. It has little stars in it and it kind of looks like a snowflake. Getting the materials that I wanted has been kind of difficult. That I can't remember if I mentioned the craft store to you guys that I wanted to go to. It's supposed to be like awesome and like 3 stories and has like everything on the planet you could ever want, but the hours are so weird. I just haven't been able to make it like when they're open. So I ended up getting finding the craft supplies that I have at a combination of, we have a dollar store in the belly of one mall, Carrefour, and with a small art supply store that has like tons of kids stuff and a tiny amount of like real art supplies. But I would say like 90% of this I found at the dollar store. I actually used watercolor colored pencils instead of like the tray paints, because I thought that would be an interesting thing to mess with. And it's just silver and gold, not Sharpie, because I couldn't find Sharpie brand markers, but you know, making it work for this year. Hopefully, you know, next year I have an idea. I know what I want to do for next year's, but like lately I've been doing lots of drawing related ones and I can't draw, so I'm gonna have to like figure out how to draw or like cut it out of card, like what I want to do next year, and like see if I can find like all of the materials. There is a way to do what I wanted to do. Sorry, sidetracked. Originally I wanted to make all of this like white, like where no paint hit the page, and I could have done it with washi tape if I had a much larger thing, because that's way too thick and I knew I couldn't cut the tape the right size. I could have done it with like a peelable glue, but I couldn't find a peelable glue, and there is something called, oh crap, I can't remember what it's called. It's some sort of fluid that you can put down that's basically peelable glue. But I couldn't find that either. So I just did it how I did it. Hopefully they'll get there this time, on time for some sort of part of December. They'll be done. by the weekend and heading off with DH to work. So hopefully they'll get there. But yeah, so Sunday, DH got his license on Sunday. If you guys follow me on the blog, you will have seen my picture of the day Sunday was his ride. So he got his, he went in really early. He had to leave at like 5 in the morning to be there. Took his second part of his driving test, the practical, got passed, got his license on the spot. They dropped him off at his car and he brought his car home. So that was awesome. Poor guy, he came home like fried, like so tired. He was like, I gotta go explore things. I'm starving to death. Need Coke on the way there. Need just let's go to a farm mall. So we drove out to Mall of Qatar, had lunch, grabbed a couple groceries, like looked for some art supplies, and then came home so he could have a nap. It was good though. You know, he drives different here. Like, the people who drive like aggressive here, and it was the joy of driving day. So a lot of me like holding the steering or holding the oh shit part, going, quit being a jerk. But you know, we'll have a balance. We're actually planning on going this weekend to have a drive again. Like, that's kind of what we want to do on one of the weekend days now, is pick somewhere and drive, because there's a lot of really cool stuff that's outside of town that we'd like to explore. So yeah, doing that this weekend. He got his license, so he's very excited that he has, you know, his freedom, and he's all official now. He's got all of his stuff. We actually got the letter from his work that we were waiting on to be able to send the packet off for our marriage license, to get that attested, so that I can finally get closer to getting my residence card, get that taken care of, so I don't have to leave again. Let's see, what did I do? Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I had my coffee groups. One day we met at, it's called Damasco One. It's a cute little Turkish restaurant in Sukawakif, which I will take you guys around someday. I just want to be in a group to do that. It's either really dead and boring or really busy, and yeah, it just would feel more comfortable kind of filming in a group, not just me wandering around with camera. That was a lovely breakfast. Some of the women at breakfast were shisha-ing already in the morning, because they had shisha. Yeah, it was a nice time. I had an omelet cooked in a pot. They brought it out on plate, which I was really disappointed about, but it was really good. Like, the texture was crazy good. I don't know what the deal with omelet in a pot is. I need to figure that out. It was like I guess it was kind of high heat, and it feels like it had been flipped, because like the outside was like not caramelized, but it was like, you know, more cooked, and then the inside was really just pillowy and soft, and it was so good. Was eating that with you know, as high fat a milk as they could bring me, because I'm still doing keto for my nerds. Actually, I've had breakfast already this morning. I've been doing 1 tablespoon of coconut oil in my coffee, instead of like coconut oil and butter, just coconut oil. And then I had, I'm pointing at my 30 plate, I had half an avocado, 2 eggs fried, and 1 tablespoon of butter. And my nerds have seen that I started actually reporting again on my Fitness Pal, so I'm recording all of my macros. I will update my, you know, threads better with all my, you know, food, other than like, I ate good today, ate good, you know. I'll get better again, I promise. So I know a lot of y'all are curious about that. Let's see, so it was Tuesday's coffee? Oh, no, Monday's coffee was just, my girlfriend and I just hung out. I finally wandered over through the park, trying to drown on spit. there's this amazing park. She lives in the other loop of where I live. There's an amazing park between the two of us that she walks every time to come and see me, but I hadn't gone over there yet because there's nothing over there except for beach. There's no shops. So we wandered that way to go grab the car. She dropped me off at the one of the malls so I could go find art supplies. When she was going off to an appointment or something, and finally got to see that park, and it is stunning. I will have to show you guys. I'll have to walk you guys through the park and then show you the vantage of the park from her apartment, because she like overlooks the park, and it is a pretty park. It was really cool, and I can't wait to bring the pup when she gets here. Did I tell you guys that I have a ship date? It's the 19th. I'm kind of disappointed about that, since it was supposed to be the 11th to the 18th. And then re-looking at the email, it was the 11th to the 13th. And she's not gonna be here till the 19th, so I'm like really kind of upset. But, you know, paperwork did say that there could be a date change, and I know. Just not thrilled. I don't want to wait anymore. I miss having a pup to snuggle. Wednesday's coffee, we went back to that crazy mall that has the planted olive trees. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I just posted, I think yesterday, a couple pictures from that mall. It's so opulent. When more things open there, I will walk you guys around there. And I got the lowdown. So we went to this cafe that is gorgeous. It's way better than that other cafe we went to there. Cafe is stunning. Their food is really good. It is very, like, they have really fancy desserts, and then they have, like, to me, it's more like New York food, or like, I guess, chick food. They've got like kale salads with quinoa and pomegranate and like pistachio and like, you know, kind of a mix of East and, or you know, Middle East and West food, but it's like healthier. And they do like their iced coffee really well. Like they give you iced coffee cubes, like ice cubes instead of water ice cubes, which is awesome. It was really good. Like I had a really good time. It was full. It is the most busy place we have ever seen. We had to wait like 15 minutes for a table. We were the only table of women that weren't in abayas, so it must be like a fair amount of Qatari women that hang out there. It's gorgeous. It's just really, and you can see like a couple tables of like guys come in and they're like checking out all the women. And one of the women that I sat next to said she's been there in the evening with her husband, and it's like the local, like, you're going there to see and be seen dating scene type place. Like there are groups of women strolling in like crazy high heels, especially on like slick marble. It's so dangerous. But yeah, like groups of single women are wandering around. You see like the groups of guys, you know, kind of trying to get introduced, and yeah, it's very interesting after dark, and it's very, you know, that is very obvious that you are there to see and be seen. There's some peacocking around there, so it's pretty great. Oh, DH and I are gonna have to go. I think the steak restaurant's open. I don't think the burger restaurant's open, but the steak restaurant's open, so maybe we'll go to that. But that was Wednesday. So Thursday, I had my first visa hop. I decided to go, hang on, I need more coffee. Oh, coffee, and I'll show you guys my hood. Because I'm a grown-up. But yeah, so Thursday was my visa hop. I decided to fly to Muscat, Oman, instead of, a lot of people are currently hanging out in the Kuwait airport for a couple hours, turning around and coming home. But that sounded dreadful, so I have not heard anything nice about that airport. So screw it, I want to go to another country and like at least have lunch. So flew to Muscat, Oman. I've heard like great things about it. Like Oman is supposed to be like clean and friendly and stunning and like natural resources out the wazoo. They have like mountains and beaches and there's ruins and like it's a crazy good place. I met a woman that lived there for quite a few years and she absolutely loves it, and like she loves Doha, but she kind of misses Muscat too because she really loved it, and it's so close. It's like an hour and a half flight. It's really not bad. My plane ticket was like 1,200 reals, so a little like domestic US prices to get over there, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and I had to leave the country, so I come back in. But so I get there, I took Qatar Airways, which is always a great flying experience. They fed us like a robust snack on our way there. Like I couldn't really eat it because it was a little egg sandwich and a muffin, so it's all bread all the time, but I had like the little 2 bites of egg inside the sandwich, and luckily I got to the gate in time to grab some full fat coffee on the way in and like a little pack of almonds just so I wouldn't expire, because I had to get up like super early, so I took like the 7:20 flight out so I would have enough time to explore. So I take the 7:20 flight there, get there 10:30 local time. Immigration was crazy. Like my girlfriend said, she's like, immigration could take you like 15 minutes, or she's like, I have seen it take up to an hour and a half. That's usually really rare. It's usually like 15 to like 45 minutes at the max. It's no big deal, you just go through. Well, immigration was a solid hour and a half. It was a madhouse. Getting your visa there is super easy. You walk over to like, they call it it's the Travelex. There's like 2 windows that are currency exchanges / get your visa. You get your visa, I paid 20 reals to get my visa. Super easy, super friendly, efficient. They charge my American credit card, it's fine. Get in the line that is like wrapped, so I have to like dive through the line to get there, which is not, that's not normal when that's happening. I don't think they have e-gates there. They had like a few gates for nationals, and then they had a line for GCC nationals, a line for families that I think was for Omani families only, and then everybody else. And everybody else was only like 2 windows open, so it was a madhouse getting there. So I get there, finally get out of the line at like noon, and I'm like, oh well, I've got enough time, that I'm not gonna make the Grand Mosque because I wanted to go see that, but it closed at 11, and I knew I probably wasn't gonna make that. I'm like, I probably shouldn't go all the way to their souk Mutra, which is a little bit farther. It's like 35 minutes, 45 minutes away from the airport. So maybe I'll just go. I'm starving, so let me look real quick. Luckily they had Wi-Fi at the airport. What is the top seafood restaurant? Because I had seen something but forgot to like copy it down. Like, let me either go to this hotel that one of the women had told me about that was amazing and eat at one of their restaurants, or let me just pick a seafood, whatever eater says. So I find the seafood restaurant. It's a Turkish house. It's like 25 minutes away. I'm like, fine, that's totally doable. It seems to be like they said it was a touristy restaurant, but a lot of locals eat there. So I'm like, well, they probably have a taxi out front. No big deal. I was a little anxious just because I don't know the taxi situation here, and they don't have Uber in Muscat. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. 25 minutes there, 25 minutes back. That's not bad. I can sit down and have, like, even if the service sucks, it's an hour and a half, it's fine. No big deal. I got plenty of time. I don't have to be back here until, like maybe 3:30, maybe 2:30, 3:30. I'm fine. So go out, catch my taxi, and like go to the stand. The guy like walks me to the taxi because I'm like standing in the wrong place. Comes out and like shows me where to go. It's really nice. So I grab a taxi. I tell the taxi where I want to go, and he's like, "Oh, well, traffic is really bad today, and that will take you it might take me like double time to get there." And I was like, "Oh, well, I gotta come back. I gotta be back here. My plane starts boarding at 15:45. Like, what do you suggest? Is there like what's the closest good restaurant you suggest?" And he thinks of like 2 Turkish restaurants, which I like Turkish food, but not like Omani food, which I was kind of, I mean, it's not super different, but you know, if I'm not going to a seafood restaurant, I wanted to go to an Omani restaurant and just figure out what to do with the rice deal. So he's like, "You know what?" I was like, "Well, if you take me to this Turkish restaurant, is there a taxi?" And he's like, "Sometimes." He's like, "Traffic's really bad today. Like, our national day," so their national day was November 18th. Their workers got off the day that I was coming in. He said if they take off today, so I wasn't sure if it was like right after work or if they'd take the day off. They get 7 days off because that's what they get, you know, for the national day. And they didn't give it to him right then, you know, because you need people to work right after National Day, I guess. So it's kind of like, that's why some of the airport was crazy and why some of the roads were crazy. And then on top of that, it's Thursday, so guys that work elsewhere and come home for the weekend, because it's, you know, an hour and a half flight, come home for the weekend. So the weekends are always really busy, especially right around the airport, because the flights are just coming in and bringing people, you know, back and forth, which I didn't think about. So he's like, I just don't, let me just take you to the mall. He's like, I think that's gonna be your best bet. So I was like, all right, I guess, take me to the mall. So he takes me to City Center Mall. It's like 15 minutes from the airport. And I wander around the mall that is slam full, like in the middle of the day, which is not, I mean, I guess it's smaller than our city center, but like, it's big. Wander around the mall. I had Turkish for lunch, which is lovely. Visited Lush, because I actually wanted to visit the Lush here, because they have solid perfumes now, and I was curious. And one of the things I wanted to do, the woman that lived in Muscat was like, you gotta go check out the Amouage. It's their, like, you know, famous brand of perfume. They have the factory there. She's like, there's a guy I know, he's amazing. He will like take you through, like he takes me through and like shows me all the new stuff. He knows me because I shop there all the time. It's really great stuff. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to that. It's really pricey, but I was like, I'm gonna at least go and like smell things. And I really like the scent that one of the scents that she like happened to have in her bag. It was really nice. It smells like very grown up and fancy. So I was like, oh, well, I'm not gonna be able to go get that, so I'm gonna go to Lush. So I went to Lush, you know, ended up chatting with the woman there, and she was talking about like the differences, and she's like, it's a little bit warmer in Oman. I think she had lived in Dubai before. She's from the Philippines, and she's talking about like the excitement of the prospect of rain. And she's like, yeah, in the Philippines it rains every day, and you're like, oh, more rain, I'm so tired of this. And she's like, and then you move, you know, to the desert, and you're like, oh, all I want is rain. So yeah, chatting with her, got back, there was an Amouage store there, but it was like super fancy looking. I was like, got my like bullet ruck and like my dress, my cardigan, and my scarf in case I got to go to the mosque. Like, I'm not really dressed for this. I got my tennis shoes on. Like, I'm not going in there. So I actually ended up smelling the perfume that I liked at the duty free. They have it like everywhere apparently. But of course, duty free prices are much more than they would be at the factory. And I ended up squirting 2 completely separate fragrances that I really liked, even more than the one that she had. So yeah, didn't make any decisions there. Probably. I just don't know. It's expensive. It's not $10, so I don't know. Ended up having lunch, grabbed a taxi back. Think I got overcharged. From what I remember hearing, if it's a blue stripe taxi from the airport, it's more expensive, but it's metered. If it is an orange taxi, I don't think it's metered, and you have to agree on a price before you get in, which I stupidly did not do. And he charged me just as much as the blue taxi. I think they're supposed to be cheaper, and you can haggle, but it just completely slipped my mind. Because, I'm used to here where the Carwa taxis. Although here you've got Carwa taxis and you have like limos that are basically taxis that are unmetered taxis. So I don't know what my deal was. I was just trying to get back to the airport on time to make sure that I was there and blah, blah, blah. So I get back to the airport with like an hour and a half of time. So I ended up wandering around the airport for like almost 2 hours before the plane, the Omani airport, so our gate was downstairs. We had to take a little shuttle to get to our plane. They don't let you in the gate area until, that's when 15:45 is when they open the doors for the gate area. And then they start boarding. Like, you sit down in the little cattle area, and then they start boarding later. So, that was kind of weird. I could have been there, at 16:30 and been fine. There wasn't a lot to that I could eat in the Omani airport, so I ended up having a full fat coffee and just wandering around, trying to figure out if I wanted to buy Omani things, even though I saw Oman for an hour, 5 minutes outside of a taxi, but it ended up not. I got some of their money. So their money is one Omani Real is $2.60 US. So they are much, I guess, stronger. This is their 1 Real. Here, I'll show you guys. I think that's the Sultan. It's a Sultanate. I think that's the Sultan. So I got the water at the airport was really reasonably priced, and I ended up getting a bottle of Aquafina for .10 reals, and it said something, it was like 40 cents or something in US, because it had the US price and Omani Real. And I got this aggressive amount of change back for my 5 real bill that I handed him. He gave me these 100. What is this? A basia? 100 baisa. I got oh, and I didn't pull it out. I got a half one and a coin. I don't know. This was all the change I got. Well, I guess I had a couple reals before. I don't know. Anyways, damn, it's 30 minutes. What's wrong with me? I might have to upload this one to my computer instead of just doing it on the phone because I'm lazy. But yeah, so that was my trip. Coming home, the immigration to get back into Qatar was crazy. There was one guy open. Well, I know, I take that back. There were 3 everyone else people, the GCC guys, the E-Gate guys, they had everything taken care of. There's one for families. There was one way down at the other end that was taking care of this student group of elementary school looking children that were on my flight. 3 desks open. They had a tech support guy was there helping. It was just crazy. I was in 3, you've got the line that does the switchbacks. I was in the 3rd switchback, and it took me, I think it took me an hour and 45 minutes to get through. DH was picking me up, and at one point he's I'm not gonna say I'm I'd lie if I said I wasn't a little worried. Are you okay? It never takes this long to go through immigration. And like, it was just really, I guess people just didn't have things right, and then they just kind of are laconic anyways, and you know, you're gonna get through when you're gonna get through. And I'm glad that I was in the front of economy class, because like, it was 6 switchbacks back, and I don't even know when they got through. It was crazy. Yeah, that was really frustrating. And then on the way in, I saw, so you get through immigration, you go through like, I think your second or third time that you get scanned, and then you walk like through baggage claim, get your baggage if you have baggage. If you don't, you just kind of wander out. And I was behind a guy that was carrying like crates of animals, so I'm guessing it was dogs or cats or something. I didn't hear any meowing or barking, but I'm guessing it was what's gonna happen for us in a few weeks. But yeah, it just, you know, shot out. They didn't make me go through the final thing because my bags had been scanned like 3 times, and I had like a carry-on that was of course full of like a Nintendo Switch and 3 chargers and like charge adapters, and what else did I have? Noise canceling headphones and like something else electronic in there, just in case I got stuck in the airport for hours, which I didn't. But yeah, got home, and I was excited to be home. So I was like, literally like, where do you live? In Doha. I told him where I live. He's like, oh, okay, cool, and just stamp my stuff. I mean, it shouldn't take that long, but sometimes it does. So yeah, I got that taken care of. We actually shot a time lapse last night of kind of the drive from the airport. I should post that probably on Tuesday. We're gonna have to do more time lapses. I was not aware that I could have my phone in landscape with the holder that DH has in the car, as we put it in his like, you know, traffic holder. So I didn't have to like try to hold it, lean up, you know, dangerously and hold it the whole time. Wasn't aware that I could do that, so you can't see, I think, as much as we had intended. So it's only like part 1, like, and I want to do it again. Like, I want to do it once landscape, and then once like tilted to either side, or like maybe I'll just control it and like, you know, put it on a selfie stick or something, because there's cool stuff on either side and some you just cannot see from looking straight ahead with the field of view that a camera will give me. But maybe it will landscape, I don't know. Yeah, this is super, super long, so I'm gonna say goodbye here. Yeah, love you guys, and I will see you next week.